A normal family car in America now costs like a luxury purchase. In 2026, walking into a dealership does not feel like buying transportation anymore. It feels like applying for a mortgage with cup holders. The lights are bright. The salesman smiles. The SUV smells brand new. Then he turns the screen around, and suddenly freedom costs nearly $50,000 before taxes, fees, insurance, interest, and that mysterious protection package nobody asked for. And here is the scary part. This did not happen by accident. Normal cars did not just get expensive. They became part of a system designed to make expensive feel normal. Here is the real question. Did car prices explode by accident, or did America slowly build a system where expensive became normal? This is not just a dealer story. Dealers can be annoying, yes. Some of them could sell sunscreen in a thunderstorm. But they are not the whole reason. The bigger story is vehicle size, regulations, tariffs, technology, interest rates, long loans, used car pressure, and automakers chasing profit where profit is easiest. And the first twist is brutal. Americans are not only paying more for cars, they are being offered fewer cheap ones. By April 2026, Kelley Blue Book data put the average new vehicle transaction price around $49,000. That is not the price of some exotic toy parked outside a Miami nightclub. That is the average new vehicle, the ordinary thing. The thing people need for work, school, groceries, and driving to Target for one item and somehow leaving with 37. Part of the problem is that the average car changed. America moved from small sedans toward crossovers, SUVs, and trucks. A pickup is no longer just a tool for hauling wood. It is an office, a family room, a tailgate lounge, a weekend warrior costume, and sometimes a personality with all-terrain tires. Automakers noticed. Bigger vehicles bring bigger margins. If people keep buying loaded SUVs and full-size trucks, companies will not rush back to build tiny bargain cars with sad hubcaps and the emotional energy of a waiting room chair. They build what sells. More importantly, they build what pays. But this creates a trap. Even buyers who want something simple face a market that keeps pushing them upward. The cheap starter car used to be the doorway into American mobility. Now that doorway has a velvet rope, a destination fee, and a finance manager named Brandon saying, "Let's just see where your monthly payment lands." That monthly payment is where the magic trick happens, and not the fun Vegas kind. The sticker price scares people, so the system hides the pain inside time. Instead of asking, "What does this car cost?" buyers get trained to ask, "Can I handle the payment?" That sounds practical. It is actually the trap door. Stretch the loan to 72 months, maybe 84. Suddenly, a vehicle that is too expensive becomes manageable, which is dealership language for future you will be furious. Edmunds reported that 84-month or longer loans hit a record share of financed new car purchases in early 2026. Cox Automotive showed the typical new vehicle payment at about $757 in April. That is not a car payment. That is rent with headlights. And interest rates make it worse. When loan rates sit near 9%, buyers are not only paying for the car, they are paying for the privilege of borrowing money to overpay for the car. The bank is basically riding shotgun, charging admission, and touching the radio. But even if buyers run from new cars, the used market does not open its arms. It checks their wallet first. Used cars used to be the escape hatch. If new vehicles got silly, you bought a 3-year-old sedan and moved on. But when new cars become expensive, people keep old cars longer. Fewer trade-ins hit the lot. Clean used inventory gets tighter. Prices stay stubborn. By mid-May 2026, Manheim data showed wholesale used vehicle values still higher than a year earlier. That is why the average vehicle on American roads reached 12.8 years in 2025. Not because everyone suddenly became a classic car collector. People are holding on because replacement feels painful. A 2013 crossover with 180,000 miles is not transportation anymore. It is a daily prayer with Bluetooth. And older cars bring repair stress. Modern cars are safer and smarter, but not cheaper to fix. A bumper used to be a bumper. Now it can hide radar, cameras, sensors, wiring, and calibration. One tiny parking lot kiss can turn into a repair estimate that looks like somebody added a zero for fun. Now add the least exciting villain in the story. Regulations and compliance. Some rules save lives. Automatic emergency braking, crash protection, cleaner emissions, and safer structures matter. Nobody wants a car built like a soda can with seat belts made of hope. But every required system adds cost. Cameras cost money. Sensors cost money, software, testing, certification, cybersecurity, emissions equipment, and warranty support cost money. Luxury buyers barely feel that. Entry-level buyers feel every extra thousand like a punch from the glove box. The EPA's newer emissions standards begin with Model Year 2027. NHTSA's automatic emergency braking rule pushes stronger safety technology across new vehicles by 2029. These may bring real benefits, but they also raise the baseline cost of building a legal modern car. When every car must carry more equipment, the cheapest cars get squeezed hardest. Then tariffs enter wearing steel-toe boots. Modern cars are global puzzles. A vehicle assembled in America can still rely on parts, electronics, steel, aluminum, software, and suppliers from different countries. When tariffs hit imported vehicles or parts, the cost does not politely stop at the border. It moves through suppliers, factories, pricing meetings, and finally lands on the buyer's contract. Congratulations! Your crossover now comes with invisible trade policy seasoning. And this is where the story becomes emotional. Because cars in America are not just products, they are access. A young worker in Texas needs a truck, but the payment looks like a second apartment. A nurse in Ohio needs reliable transportation for late shifts, but every decent used SUV is priced like it knows inflation personally. A parent in Florida wants a safe 3-row vehicle, then realizes the family car now costs family vacation money every month. Somewhere, Brandon is still smiling. This is why car prices hurt differently. If you live in a walkable city, maybe you can dodge the pain. But in much of America, no car means fewer job options, longer commutes, missed opportunities, and less freedom. When cars get expensive, life gets smaller. EVs were supposed to reset the game, but they made the picture more complicated. Some EVs are cheaper to fuel and maintain. Some used EV prices have softened, but many new EVs still carry high upfront prices, insurance questions, charging concerns, and resale uncertainty. Hybrids became the sensible middle child. Not flashy, but suddenly very attractive when gas, rates, and repair bills are all fighting for your paycheck. So, the real reason car prices exploded is not one villain. It is a stack. Bigger vehicles, fewer cheap cars, more technology, more regulation. Tariffs, high interest rates, longer loans, expensive repairs, tight used supply, insurance pressure, automakers chasing margins, lenders making giant prices feel survivable. And the stack works because everyone gets protected except the buyer. So what should buyers do? Stop shopping by payment alone. Ask for the out-the-door price. Check insurance before signing. Compare total ownership cost. Avoid rolling old debt into a new loan. Do not let a giant screen, fake off-road trim, or stitched seats convince you a bad deal is a personality upgrade. And please, if you only drive to work and Costco, maybe you do not need a truck tall enough to require air traffic control. The real reason car prices exploded is that the car became everything at once: transportation, technology platform, regulation carrier, finance product, status badge, and profit machine. Every layer added cost. Every cost found the buyer. Then the buyer was told, "Don't worry, we can make the payment work." But making the payment work is not the same as making the car affordable. So next time a dealership asks what monthly payment you are comfortable with, ask the better question: what is this car really costing me? Because if the average car now feels like a luxury purchase, how long before normal Americans decide the whole system is officially out of control? If this breakdown made you see car prices differently, hit like and subscribe, because the next expensive vehicle on the lot might not be a dream car. It might be a warning sign with leather seats and a very expensive monthly lesson too.